Picture this. You're at a party, playing a game of trust fall, and when it's your turn, you fall straight to the ground. No one catches you. Ouch, right? Well, that's how trust issues feel in relationships. Let's take a moment to explore this scenario. You're surrounded by friends, laughing, having a good time, and then bam, you're on the floor. It's not just the physical pain that stings, but the feeling of betrayal. The expectation of a safe landing shattered in an instant. This humorous yet painful incident is a perfect metaphor for the trust issues that often plague relationships. Trust, like a trust fall, requires us to be vulnerable, to rely on another person to catch us when we let our guard down. But what happens when we take the leap and there's no one there to catch us? The pain of broken trust can be just as jarring, if not more so, than the unexpected thud of a trust fall gone wrong. So how do we move on from our metaphorical trust fall? Let's dive in. Imagine having a trust repair kit, like a first aid kit, but for your relationship. Sounds cool, huh? Picture this, a box filled with tools not of bandages and antiseptics, but of open communication, transparency, patience, and consistency. Now let's break down what's in our trust repair kit. First up, we have open communication. Think of this as the screwdriver of our kit. Just as a screwdriver helps to tighten loose screws, open communication helps to tighten loose ends in a relationship. It's all about being honest with your partner, expressing your feelings and listening to theirs. It's about having those tough conversations that you've been avoiding. Next, we have transparency, the trusty tape measure of our kit. Just as a tape measure gives you accurate measurements, transparency provides a clear and honest picture of your actions to your partner. It's about letting your partner in on your life, your thoughts, your fears, your dreams. It's about not having any hidden compartments or secret drawers. Then there's patience, the pliers of our kit. Just as pliers are used to grip things firmly yet gently, patience is about holding onto your relationship firmly yet gently, giving it time to heal and grow. It's about understanding that trust is like a delicate flower. It needs time to bloom. And finally, we have consistency, the hammer of our kit. Just as a hammer is used to drive in nails securely, consistency is about consistently showing up for your partner, proving through your actions that you are trustworthy. It's about being reliable and stable, not just once or twice, but all the time. And there you have it, folks, your very own trust repair kit. But remember, just like fixing a flat tire or assembling a piece of furniture, rebuilding trust can be a bit messy and confusing. It takes time, effort, and a whole lot of patience. But it's worth it. Because trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. Remember, trust isn't built in a day, just like that IKEA bookshelf that took you a week to assemble. Think of trust like a Wi-Fi signal. When it's strong, everything runs smoothly. But when it's weak, things can get pretty frustrating. Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if we all had a trust signal bar glowing above our heads? Just like Wi-Fi, trust can feel intangible, but it's essential for the healthy functioning of any relationship. So, how do we test the strength of our trust signal? How do we know when it's time to reboot the router of our relationship? One way to test your trust levels is by being honest about your feelings. Just like a Wi-Fi password, our feelings can be complex and tough to crack, but sharing them openly can create a secure connection between you and your partner. It's like upgrading from a public network to a private one. Next, let's talk about discussing fears. It's like those pesky Wi-Fi dead zones in your house. You know, the ones where the signal drops for no apparent reason? Similarly, in relationships, there are areas where trust can falter. By discussing these fears, you're essentially troubleshooting these dead zones. And finally, observe actions over words. Just like a Wi-Fi router blinking with activity, actions speak louder than words. If your partner's actions are consistent with their words, that's a strong trust signal. But if they're saying one thing and doing another, well, you might be dealing with a faulty router. Remember, just like Wi-Fi, trust can fluctuate. Some days it's full bars, other days you might be searching for a signal. But it's important to know that trust, like Wi-Fi, can be restored. It might take some time, some patience, and a good dose of honesty, but it's definitely possible. So if your trust signal is weak, don't panic. There are ways to boost it, and no, you don't need a technician for that. Keeping trust strong is like maintaining a car. It needs regular checkups, oil changes, and sometimes a good wash. You wouldn't want to be stuck in the middle of nowhere with a vehicle that's sputtering and coughing, right? The same goes for trust in a relationship. Just like how you don't want your car to end up in a junkyard, you don't want your relationship to fall apart either. So how do you keep the trust engine running smoothly? Let's dive into some maintenance tips. First up, regular open conversations. Think of these as your routine oil changes. You're making sure everything is running smoothly, addressing any issues before they become major problems. You can't expect to drive a car for years without ever changing the oil, and you can't expect a relationship to thrive without regular, honest communication. So make it a habit to check in with each other. Discuss your feelings, your worries, your joys. Keep that communication oil flowing. Next, appreciation. This is the equivalent of a good wash and wax for your car. It keeps things looking shiny and new. In a relationship, showing appreciation for each other can keep feelings of love and respect vibrant. It's about acknowledging the little things, a kind word, a thoughtful gesture, a loving look. Just like a clean car gleams in the sunlight, a relationship where appreciation is regularly expressed shines with love and trust. And finally, giving each other space when needed. Now, this might sound a bit counterintuitive, but think of it as giving your car a break after a long drive. It's healthy to have some time for yourself, to pursue your own interests, to just breathe. It's not about driving away from each other, but rather about ensuring you're not overheating the engine of your relationship. So keep your trust engine running smoothly, and you'll avoid any relationship breakdowns on the highway of love. Remember our trust fall scenario? Now imagine you fall back, and this time you're caught. That's the power of rebuilt trust. Today, we've taken a journey through the landscape of trust. We've stumbled and caught ourselves. We've peered into a toolkit full of strategies to mend our relationships. We've tested our trust levels, and we've even developed a maintenance routine to keep our trust in top shape. Let's take a moment to reflect on the key points. Trust, as we've discovered, is not a static entity. It's a living, breathing part of our relationships that requires care, attention, and the occasional repair. It's like a garden. If you ignore it, it withers. But if you tend to it, it can blossom into something truly beautiful. We've learned that trust is not about blind faith. It's about communication, honesty, and demonstrating reliability. It's about showing up, not just physically, but emotionally. It's about being there in the good times and, more importantly, in the not-so-good times. And we've also learned that trust, once broken, can be rebuilt. It takes time, patience, and a whole lot of effort, but the rewards are immense. Rebuilding trust can deepen your connection, strengthen your bond, and bring a newfound level of understanding and respect to your relationship. So, what does a happy ending look like in the world of trust? It's not about a fairy tale resolution where everything is perfect. It's about a relationship where trust is valued, nurtured, and protected. It's about partners who are committed to maintaining trust and are willing to work through the tough stuff when trust is tested. So, take the leap, rebuild that trust, and you'll find someone there to catch you. And if not, at least you'll have a funny story for the next party. Trust is not just about avoiding the fall, it's about knowing that even if you do fall, you have the tools and the resilience to get back up and try again.